Hello. Hi, chat. Welcome to I'm Not Trying to Kill You, the Republic. My name's Ash. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And this is my game that I've been working on for a while. It's had help from a lot of people. But I'm very, very excited and also very nervous to get to play it on here. I originally, when I first created this channel, the intention was to use it to play test the games I was writing, and then I got too chicken shit and was like, I can't like GM my own game on my own channel, because then
that would be weird.
If anything goes wrong, it's all on me. It's my channel, it's my game, I'm GMing. So we're here now, we're doing the thing, we're gonna play the Republic, and I'm really, really excited. And because of that, oh my gosh, so many lovely people in the notifications. In order to make sure that I am feeling like sufficiently supported, I have 4 amazing people here with me, four rebels, four instigators of violence against the system. And I might get them to introduce themselves. We'll start with Luke.
I'm really lost. This is very confronting.
Yeah, no, I didn't have Emily, so you're my Emily today.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Emily. No. Hi, I'm Luke. My pronouns are they, them. I am a professional GM for children by day, and then by night, I am a game designer, and I appear on shows like this one. And I have not played the Republic in way too long, and I'm super fucking hype.
Yeah. Andrew.
I'm Andrew. My pronouns are they, them. And I'm a game designer and Twitch RPG streamer type person. And Ash and I met during a playtest of the Republic. So this is a full circle experience.
Really nice way to bring things back around.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a while ago.
Oh my god.
What's Luke?
Oh shit! I've just realized, before we ever met as people, this game was my first exposure to the idea that you existed.
Oh, neat.
Because I read it during Free Forged.
Oh, of course, right.
Like back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ketas.
Yeah. For Fraser's asking if this was originally from a... Never mind. Oh.
Yeah. Let's let Ketas speak.
Hi, I'm Keeters or Anya. I use she, her, and yeah, I don't really do anything that's important.
And you're cool as hell.
On the internet.
Yeah, you be on the internet being cool as hell and very pretty.
And queer as hell.
Yeah.
And you fight mechs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Last but certainly not least, Sean.
Hi there, I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns. I am a project manager for Evil Hat, and we make lots of cool games, or publish them rather. And I also do some streaming on my own channel, Actual Play. And I talked to Ash about the Republic, I don't know, a few months ago, and it sounded super cool and very interesting. And I was like, yeah, keep me posted. I want to keep seeing how the game progresses. And then she said, like, do you want to play? And I was like, hell yes, I do. So that's why I'm here. I'm very excited to play with all of you.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here because I've been watching all of the old Stardancer VODs and things like that. Cool. All right. So let's build our Republic. Hey Luke.
Yes.
Luke. Do you want to read the box text for me?
Which page is it on now?
Page
I haven't seen
Page 1.
Page 1. Yeah, cool. Alright, let's brace yourselves, everyone. It's about to get fucked up. Your civilization is well-ordered, rational, and technologically advanced, harnessing the sciences, the powers of the spirit world, and the mystical ways of element bending for the advancement of the Republic. It is a Hellenistic utopia, ruled by a dispassionate senate of men, proven wise, steady, and long-thinking, and their formal advisors, philosophers, and masters of every school. Its civic monuments, technological wonders, and cultural marvels mark it as the greatest civilization within the known world. It is also atrocious, It denies the full humanity of women and brutally suppresses and enslaves them. It denies the full humanity of foreigners and ethnic minorities and brutally suppresses and enslaves them. It denies the full humanity of those who defy norms of gender and sexuality and brutally suppresses and enslaves them. It denies the full humanity of the disabled and brutally suppresses and enslaves them. It affirms only the humanity of its citizens. The labor and lives of all others exist to serve only these. You are not such a person. You are forbidden from voting on the affairs of the Senate. You are denied full autonomy over your own body. Your voice is discredited and silenced in public. You are forbidden from learning the mystical ways of bending the elements. And yet you have learned the mystical ways of bending the elements.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the opening like line as we see our characters doing super awesome and completely forbidden things. The narration that goes over our intro, which we'll figure out what that intro will be later. But
yep. Just a whole bunch of people like running away from like armed guards and like then like shooting fire and shit like that.
Yeah.
As far as play goes, and sorry, like.
The litany bit of it, the like it denies and suppresses that bit is my favorite. It's just
and it shows Vincent introduced the litany, and I was like, yes. And then we like
Vincent's litany against normative societal bullshit.
Yeah.
Up there
the way that this game has evolved is so fascinating because of the way that different people have had to have put what they understand oppression to be into the game, and then other people have responded and been like, well, that the way that you've structured that actually reinforces things that are against people like me, and so we've had this real back and forth about what does the shape of the game look like with that. But as far as the cool magic shit, the mystical ways of bending the elements, all things in the universe are made up of five distinct elements. The four earthly elements, fire, earth, air, and water, and the fifth heavenly element, which binds together the universe, the heavens, and the souls of folk. These elements can be mystically controlled by those who have learned the ancient arts, allowing practitioners to move great sections of stone, restrain or explode sparks and flames, lighten their step with the very winds, and soothe the wounds of the injured with healing waters. Within the Republic, these arts are responsible for many technological and civic wonders, but are permitted to be practiced only by citizens. So, the way that we play the game, it's a role-playing game. You'll are pretty familiar with that. We're going to tell a story together. And because of that, we need to establish some social contracts. We need to get some buy-in to playing a game that is pretty fucking heavy at times. This game can get intense. As far as, I mean, Luke will attest to that.
Yep.
So we need to make sure that we establish some safety protocols. The one that I always use, the one that the game recommends itself, is an X card or red card protocol. So, because we're in a streaming environment, we have two signals to indicate that you're not comfortable or you need to tap out or anything like that. One is a verbal signal. If you just say X card, red card, I want to red card this, I need to X card right now. That's fine. The other one, if you're not capable of making words at the time, hand up to the open palm, splayed fingers towards your camera, so we understand. Okay, cool, right? We need to back off and give you space, and then we can come back. We don't. This isn't we all understand that everyone has things that are like that for them. We respect it. And so when that happens, we're not going to ask questions. We're not going to say, oh, why are you like that? Or anything like that. We're just going to cut back, move on. The only question I might ask, if it's not obvious to me, is I might ask you, what is the thing you would like me to avoid in future? So that I can make sure that I don't hit that note for you again. If you are like on the edge and you're like, this is kind of getting a little bit rough, you can hand signal that, or we can say like, this is on the edge of a red card for me, and we can be like, cool, we're going to trade carefully. Or if this is a thing that is really intense and really emotional, but it's the good kind of emotional, thumbs up. Or you can say like, this is intense and I'm having an intense time, but I want to see more of it. So we can all have that discussion ongoing as we play, because we're playing a game that is fun, but also allows us to explore violence that we couldn't explore in the real world. Play can be cathartic in that way, which is really, really good. So is everyone all okay with our red card policy? Our X card?
Yeah, that sounds great. And I just want to say that I within the context of this game and us streaming together, that I love and respect and want all the best for all of you. I'm sure that extends outside of the game as well, but I want to just commit to that in this game. That I think we'll all treat each other really well. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I trust all of these people, so I'm really, really keen. So now that we've established safety, let's make a horrible republic to make us all feel terrible. Let's do that bit.
Do we want to?
Let's talk about. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about aesthetic first, or do we want to talk about which realm we want to do?
I think realm is the good first point.
And then we can work from there.
With that, so the game, the Republic as a game gives you this control mechanism for play. There are 3 realms that we can play in. They are the Metropoli, the Borderlands, and the Barbarous Wilds, and they map to different levels of confrontation with the oppression and horror of the Republic. If you're in the cities, if you're in the Metropoli, you're going to be face to face with lots of people who have lots of opinions that are probably not good. You're going to be face to face with the law. You're going to be face to face with all of those sorts of things. If you're in the Borderlands, where societal structures are not as influential and people actually have, because they're living in smaller communities, they tend to be more empathetic. So you're still dealing with the structural issues of the out of the Borderlands, but it is less intense. There is a bit, you will deal a bit more with problems that are not directly caused by the Republic's oppression, but often that's an element of a larger problem. And then in the Barbarous Wilds, that is where you've said, fuck it, we're leaving, we're not going to be in the Republic at all. We're going to go out and try and live our own lives and build a new life for ourselves outside of civilization, and hope our very best that we don't bring the horror with us, which is the kind of interesting question there. Because the Barbarous Wilds is a place where spirits and magic-y stuff is a bit more uncontrolled. Often your own ideas and understandings of the world end up being the thing that gets you. My preference, especially for stream play, is for the Metropoli, because if we're getting into this game to explore those themes, I like to hit them hard and then give us the option of moving back out to the Borderlands if we want to. Does anyone else have feelings about that?
Yeah, I was definitely going to say I'd rather play in the Metropolis or the Borderlands. I don't have much interest for this game to play in the Barbarous Wilds. But yeah, both the Metropolis and the Borderlands sound really cool.
Yeah, I feel like the Barbarous Wilds is most interesting as a place we can retreat to during play if we need to.
Yeah, definitely.
My strong vote is for the Metropolis, because I really like the bit of the game where we build a really toxic society and then try and knock it down.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm also way in favor of the Metropolis, and the Barbarous Wilds seems like they would have far more impact
Afterwards, right? Like
afterwards, and when we know the toxic elements of society that we're fighting, and when we've sort of internalized them through play, then when we accidentally or intentionally reproduce them, that's so much more poignant than if we just reference something that we've actually experienced in play. So to me, that's
cool.
All for it.
I'm on board. This all aligns with
Let's do it.
interest.
All right. So we're going to play in the Metropolis. We're going to start in cities, which is great because it means that we can assume that there is cities. Which, like, if you start playing the Borderlands or the Barbarous Wilds, you don't have to make that assumption. But we can start out by working out. So, do we want to play in a Hellenistic utopia? In a the form of the Republic tends to be Ashton doesn't really know much of the difference a lot of the time between Greek and Roman stuff. And
I mean, a lot of the Greeks and Romans didn't really know the difference either. So
so often it's a Mediterranean classical feel is the default setting. It's fictional, so I can do that. It's not real.
Yeah.
Like
it's not set in Greece, so like fuck off.
I don't know if this is just totally off out of the realm, but I figure I'd ask it now while it's very early on. Reading the text, this screams to me Star Trek gone wrong. Like it screams to me like all of the advancements that we see glorified in Star Trek and used to the good of everyone, used ubiquitously to the good. We see on the fringes with like the Ferengi and the various conflicts in Deep Space Nine and whatnot. We see on the fringes that those things that are for the good of everyone are not really for the good of everyone. They're really for the good of the Federation. And so like, but we just don't. That's just not on camera very often. So we don't. So we've given this depiction of Star Trek as utopia. And not that I want to reproduce Star Trek per se, but the idea of some space age culture where all these problems have been solved by technology, but of course they're not really solved for everyone. And what's solved often is normalized, right? Like you can be solved by being turned into the thing through technology that everyone wants you to be or society expects you to be. So I don't know. I thought I'd throw that out there early because it's obviously a very big departure from, Republic.
I feel like I would have a bit of trouble, like the Star Trek style is like my familiarity with space sci-fi tends to be at the like Firefly end. And so I would probably have a bit of trouble GMing that style, but we can take some of those. I think it's really a good idea to like look at that and take some of those ideas and like mix them into our pot. I think that sounds like a really good,
cool.
Really like we can talk about like one of the really interesting things is if you have this technology, if you have this mystical ability, what kind of interesting technologies are available to you and things like that.
Like food production problems and all that, like for citizens, have been solved by bending. Like, it's not a thing anymore.
Maybe we do have like interworld, like there are multiple worlds that have been populated that the Republic has like colonized. That's definitely an option. That's the thing we can have on the table, and we can talk about them. That allows us to talk about colonialism in like some fun ways because of the difference because we can use the interworld travel, whatever that is, as a really nice metaphor without actually saying like, without having to refer to real world continent analogs, which I'm a little uncomfortable because this game is specifically about like oppression and harmful power structures and hierarchies and that kind of thing. I'm a little hesitant to commit fully to colonialism
because I feel like as a bunch of white folks, we are just not qualified to have that conversation.
Fair.
Like to make it about like, I feel colonialism should not be a major theme because we're not like in a place to talk about that with nuance and with kind of experience.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah. And besides, I think it'll almost certainly be pervasive in our game no matter what, because colonialism finds its way into all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly.
In horrible and pervasive ways. So we don't even need to try, I bet, to include it.
So we can have that element though of like, we can say, is this a society that can move between worlds because that's the structure of like the universe, or we can say, do they have phases, right? Like, do they have?
Yeah, no, I'm not attached to any of the trappings of.
Yeah, it's more about the form. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just but I think let's stick with the comfort zone, and all of the elements that are maybe appealing in that setting, like you said, can easily be.
We can bring them in. Yeah.
Right, like if there's technology to normalize people, that's terrifying.
I think that's a really good thing to bring in, because I think that's. I think a lot of us can probably connect to that idea of technology, of society being like, you should be like this. Here's how. So yeah. So some of the aesthetics,
aesthetics wise. Like I'm happy to do Greek. Like I have a lot of feelings about classical mythology and cultures, so like I'd be down to do that. I also like when we did the Republic, when I last did the Republic, and we did like kind of Han Dynasty, like Imperial China. That was really interesting. Also,
that was really fun.
And it's just occurred to me that like a circa 17th, 18th century like London.
That was I was
could also like totally work.
Yeah, with like red coats and
yeah, it'd be really interesting. So I'm not committed to any of those. I just wanted to present some like possibilities.
Yeah, do any of those ring like really inspire anyone?
Well, is like an assumption that the Republic has been around for like eons?
I mean, not like it's established. Yeah, it's a well-established civilization, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not like. Yeah. Like, it's only taken Australia 200 years to really, like, get its feet into the oppression.
Yeah. Yes, as someone from a country that has the same sort of history, yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take long to make an impression.
Well, and we can also inherit all of these things from our precursors, right? So even if we're a recent republic, or we could be carrying a lot of baggage from former republics that
we are Rome inheriting the Etruscan aqueduct.
Yeah, like from just the name the Republic and also reading it, I totally got this, and it was probably not intentional at all. I totally got this vibe of like colonial America.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's another way we can do it.
Because like, just listening to Hamilton last night, I'm prepared.
What about, and this is probably drifting at it like pretty hard. Yeah. What about if we take the colonialist American, like, this is a new society that has been built to be better than the previous society, but like give it a Han or a Greek or or something like that. Give it one of those vibes. Like the mythic it's the whole like bullshit Aeneid thing in which Rome is founded by refugees from Troy. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Or
it's that thing.
Or like we've decided that these islands are ours now and the Ainu can get fucked. Right? Like
yeah.
Right? It's the same sort of thing.
I mean, that's a simplification of that period of history, but
I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do people feel about those thoughts of like having a newer republic that is
the sins of the father?
Yeah.
I like it if we're leaning into more of a like French Revolution type of space where there was like it was our old government and then now the republic was formed over top. Like we didn't displace someone else because then we're getting back into that colonial
vibe.
This is just
So
we're keeping it in house.
I was
cool.
more of going just for the New Republic, not so
Yeah,
much
no,
the
I like
colonial aspect. But
yeah,
Yeah, but I love
really
this
like that
idea
of,
of a very optimistic and probably bloodily carved out republic that got plopped on top of the old one and
that was meant to
a bunch of
be
baggage. Yeah,
meant to be revolutionary and bring about, because what it probably was like it was like the society that was before was like you had to be educated to be worth anything, and they were like, no, like peasants, like, it was a failed Marxist revolution. They were like, no, like white cis able-bodied, like straight men who work in the fields and aren't educated are people too. We fixed all of society's problems, and it's like, buddy, you still there's a lot of progress you still gotta make.
And like and like there's like education and like martial ability would have been the two previous things of like the things that were valued. You had to be one of those. And
now,
so what is that being replaced by? I like that a lot, but I think we should have something that feels like it's just as arbitrary, honestly.
But sure, now all white, straight, cis, able-bodied men, now all people, all citizens can access the wonders of education and learning how to fight. Yeah. It's not gated to the rich anymore. We fixed it.
Right.
Yeah. So like the arbitrary thing is being
has access to what they have access to. Right.
Yeah.
Like
it's class. It's since we've divided the class structures that we see within white straight dudes, all of their class structures are.
We've unified white straight dudes into one equal class, and it's like progress.
Good job, everyone. Cool.
GJ.
We fixed everything.
All right. I like that a lot because it would give and it resonates with with everyone's experience today, is that it gives a lot of the people who are sort of complicit in society the avenue to say, well, we fixed all those problems. What do you?
It's better
why are
now.
you still complaining about things? Why are you? Civil rights have been solved, right?
Yeah, we hear this a lot. Yeah.
So.
Yep. Cool. Gays can get married now. We fixed homophobia.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. I love living in this like completely
this hellscape
homophobic society. So in that case, trapping.
I think a Greek. I think a Greek vibe is fine.
Greek vibe, cool. Sounds good to me. All right. So, as far as let's see, when do we do institutions during character creation, don't we?
Yeah.
She said, remembering her own game.
Yes. Cool. Yes, we do.
All right. Yeah, because it's part of the first question. So everyone should have a character sheet in the... Yep, cool. Now, for the marginalization section, we need to ask, why is your character not a citizen of the Republic? What is it that means that you are not able to be... that you are forbidden from participating in that way?
I want to be... Or am I cutting you off? I'm sorry.
No, go.
I have an idea. I want to be... So we talked about like martial stuff and education stuff being important. I would like for my character to be a veteran of some war who has like lost a leg or an arm or something. Like they've been maimed in service of the Republic and have come back, and now they're like, you're missing some bits. You're not a person anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks for your service.
Yeah.
So like traumatized war veteran.
Yeah, definitely.
Who was a citizen and now has been de-citizened.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. They're like, it's okay, we're going to take care of you, but also you're not a person anymore, obviously. That's why we have to take care for you.
Sight, please.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that sounds good. So are you okay for us to talk about some PTSD stuff? Is that a thing that you're cool with?
I think that's it's going to be about like, so he's going to be a dude. He's going to have a physical disability of some kind, like from being wounded, and like out in the field where like they could have fixed it if he had been wounded in a city, but because he was out in the war, couldn't get fixed, and now it's too late. And then certainly some PTSD vibes.
Cool. All right. Are there any elements of that character thing that you want to flag as not being okay? Do you want me to stay clear of?
None that I can think of out the jump.
Cool.
So.
All right. Yep. Good job.
And like other people?
Yeah. Has anyone else got any? Does that
Yes,
have any potential?
Because if someone's like, I actually have PTSD, don't make a character like that. That's
Right.
fine
Like,
with me.
yeah.
I can change it.
Are there any issues there that anyone wants me to keep an eye on?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Excellent. Well, seeing as you've answered the question, why is your character not a citizen of the Republic? We should
You're
make
putting me on the spot.
we should make an institution then. So when you're describing why you're not a citizen of the Republic, name an institution and one of the ways it oppresses you. And then we add that institution to our list.
And then we smash it.
Yeah, we have institutions have moves that we can, which are just like fictional triggers and inspiration for me, so that I can get an idea of like what it is they do, and how they're nasty. And then they build up through play.
To give some like examples, like in our last game, our institutions were the educational system of the Republic, the educational system, the move of which was to teach non-citizens to be complicit in their own oppression. The medical system, which was to willfully misunderstand the bodies of non-citizens. The walls and gates of the city, which was to like deny access to lower classes. And I do not remember I think it was like the debate court. It was I don't remember what the fucking fourth one was. There was another one too.
It was something to do with the Senate, but yeah. Also
some old men argued about something. I don't fucking remember.
So as an institution then that I will author for this, I think the two notions that interest me, one would be like a military organization, the head office of the military, or of like the Foreign Legion or some crap like that, or having it relate to like the medical institution, because this character would be getting fucked around by both of those groups.
Definitely. Which one are you more interested in exploring?
Andrew, does the idea of the medical institution, which simultaneously can't do anything for you, but also wants to hide you, appeal? Like maybe they would give you drugs that would make it, you able to walk during the day, but then they're horribly exhausting and they're degenerative themselves, or they do these things to sort of like put a band-aid, like to cover up your wounds.
Or like
they're interested in concealing, not fixing.
To push on that vibe, like the government propaganda department.
Right. They want everyone else to feel more comfortable about you rather than to actually help you recover from these injuries. I don't know if that fits in your.
I'm kind of thinking in a way that is more informed by the American healthcare system of it fucking the character over, where it's just like, if you could like afford treatment, like maybe we could try this new thing, and then like you save up all your money, you try it, like it didn't work, sorry, no refund.
But if you save up more money, we have this other new thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the idea
that might be a little too brutal. Actually, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna steer out of this because I live in Canada.
You can just choose not to. Yeah.
So let's talk about the army.
Yeah.
So what kinds of I assume the Republic goes and like fights other people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ways.
I don't want to skip, but my concept is that I'm thinking of as a woman who was captured in a war from this time as well. So that's
perfect.
Cool.
I'm going to be playing a Persian woman who was conscripted or captured and has been brought in back from the previous society as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, let's say it's the Foreign Legion. The Republic has a
military war machine
that is about external application of force, like going around making it so people could never attack the Republic in the first place.
Excuse me,
exactly.
External peacekeeping operations.
Exactly.
Can we call them the peacekeepers?
I mean,
That sounds great to me.
yeah.
I just like when I play this game, I just like to like be as bleakly, brutally like real about its parallels to the real world as possible.
Foreign Legion sounds very Greek. Peacekeeper sounds a little more modern, but I like both names a whole lot, and depending on the vibe we're going for, I think.
Yeah, like I like the idea that this force is named in accordance with the propaganda, like with the role that
They're not called
propaganda claims it.
peacekeepers. They're called peacemakers.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
I
Love
love
it.
it.
They go out there and they make peace happen. God damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Near
What
Emily's
move do
house
they
there
use
is
to oppress you?
Yeah.
Still, now that you're not in them anymore. Is it about like the bureaucracy or the propaganda they still make you do, or like?
Yeah, I think that like they continually if you are a veteran and you're like a broken person, they are fine to support you, but they have to continually debase and humiliate you in order for you to get access to that care.
Oh yeah, God.
So they have lots of bureaucracy. They have lots of like weird institutionalized shaming.
Yeah.
Yep.
That you get subjected to.
Punish,
Cool.
punish disabled soldiers for their failure.
I mean, it's not even that. I'm getting very. In Australia, we have a thing called Centrelink, which is our what's the word?
Public, like poor support for like the poor and
welfare. Exactly, and it
welfare,
exactly serves this purpose already. So, yeah.
Yeah. So similar to how a lot of countries that have like a Protestant ethic pathologize poverty.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of stuff.
I
don't know how to frame that in terms of the specific language and mechanics that you want to do.
Make veterans earn their support.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like because you are a veteran that is like no longer useful to the military, you have some debt to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a performance you have to do.
But I feel like that debt is all important part of that debt is that it's all wrapped in shame. Is that you owe them, and you're constantly been made to feel ashamed for what they're doing for you.
Yeah.
Shame them for needing
needing the assistance.
Shame them for needing assistance.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're off to a good start.
Yep, cool.
Awesome.
And then we need a pillar. A pillar might be an important person, a system, an artifact, a building, or a widely held belief to support this move.
Right, so like why is it that it is shameful to need support from other people?
Yeah, or like what person demands this, or where does this happen?
Is there an office that you have to go to? Is there a minister in charge of this government branch? What can we destroy to destabilize this bad thing that the Republic does?
I like your focus, Luke.
I mean, actually though,
that's what a pillar is meant to be.
That's literally what pillars are for.
Yeah.
Would like a monument or some symbol count as this?
Yeah.
Because my thought is like a military graveyard.
And it's like you should have died, right? Like is the message.
You did die for your country. So
you made it more complicated by I think there is a specific graveyard for fallen soldiers. Like heroes of the Republic of this particular branch. Like each branch of the military would have its own. There's a monument in the middle of it that is like some big piece of statuary of them, of like soldiers, these idealized soldiers like holding like a bulwark or something against like a literal like rushing wave or something, like a literal tide of external forces.
There's some like Tomb of the Unknown Soldier like grand thing in the center.
Yeah, with like big list of names and all shit, and part of how you are like shamed as a veteran who is still alive but can no longer serve is you have to go and like maintain this place.
Yes.
This is like where you do your
Pay obeisance to it. Yeah.
So it is full of. It is like staffed by almost exclusively by these like
crippled veterans.
people.
So are you like a grave digger?
Yeah, you like dig graves or polish statuary or.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they have the names.
You give tours.
So yeah, they have the names of the fallen, Sean.
Yeah, I like the idea that they have the names of the fallen. You have to constantly polish them so they're all visible. Like, remember who the real heroes were. Like, and you have to see names of maybe even people you possibly knew, but like they're the heroes and you're not, and you have to just be like literally looking at that all the time.
Yeah, in light of all of this, I would just like to. This does sound like we're starting to come back around into less like make them earn assistance and more like shame them for their survival.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. If that is like, if we feel like that's where we've pivoted to.
It's both. It's both because they like get a stipend. You continue you continue to serve. They're like, cool, yeah, you're still in the army. You're just not you can't fight anymore, so we're gonna relegate you to this kind of role.
So make veterans pay for support with shame.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So I have a potential name for this pillar, which might be the hero's field.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
into it.
Like that's
Sounds good.
There's like this beautiful verdant field with graves and this monument in the center.
Sure.
Yeah.
For the monument, I'm actually hitting my old push talk. Oops. For the monument, I'm totally like the image in my mind for like specifically the monument is in Rome. There's the Altare della Patria, which is literally the like altar to the fatherland, and it's this huge marble building with a giant statue in the front and like dishes full of flame, and it's insane.
It's very grand.
Yeah,
we build beautiful monuments for
exactly.
all sorts of reasons. You know?
I mean, if we can't build beautiful monuments with our ability to bend like metal and earth, what's the point? Like,
The fucking there was the monument depicts a key moment in the revolution.
yeah,
There was like a band of the revolutionaries who like held off the the army of the old civilization like in like a heroic last stand, and then the entire place the last stand was happening was flooded. Like their job was to hold there and gather them all in so that the armies of the old could just be all flooded away. And so like they went in there knowing they were going to die for the Republic.
Yep, that's cool. All right. So, seeing as Sean, you seemed to have a pretty good idea of why you're
Why you're oppressed?
why you're not what your marginalization is.
Yeah, I was thinking of playing a Persian woman or our kind of equivalent.
Fantasy analog. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm like, are we playing in Greece or in a Greece-like place?
It's an analog because if we say we're playing in Greece, I'm going to feel a pressure to try and like follow that. Whereas if we say we're in an analog, I'm happy to be like, and now there's like an
aqueduct.
Like there's an aqueduct or whatever. Yeah.
So so I'm playing a woman whose people were peace made. They were defeated before they could create a they could create a problem, or perhaps they were in the process of creating a problem, but creating a
by
threat
being prosperous.
Yeah, I think that they were prosperous, and
they were providing an alternative, and that's dangerous.
right. And so they were conquered by again the previous regime. I know that this isn't the current one, but for me, especially with what Andrew kicked off with, this really resonated, was that they were conquered by the previous regime, and she had a place in that society, not a respected place, but there were there was a cast of people that were there was a cast of within the society, and now there is no cast as I envision it, like after the Republic. This because her story has kind of been erased. Like capture people and conscript them, we don't do that. That's not a thing the Republic does.
Yeah, we're not going to free you and send you back to your homes. You're just non-citizens now.
I think it may even be a little thing less of like, we're not going to free you. Like, I think she could totally leave, but there's nothing to go back to. Her home is burned, and there's nothing there. And so it's not like you're in bondage. But what would she go back to? But she's
and they're not and they're not going to acknowledge
no place
the sins of the past regime. So they're just like, no, you're just like another non-citizen like any other.
Yeah, that wasn't us. That was the previous government.
Right. We didn't do that. No, that was a horrible atrocity.
We got rid of those guys. Aren't you glad? Aren't you grateful?
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like the institution is like something akin to like the immigration office. Like her, the institution with which she would attempt to gain citizenship. I mean, she can't really gain citizenship, but at least gain a place in society. Citizenship we've established is straight, cis white dude. So she's never going to gain that. But like, there's all of the other people that have a caste in society, and even to join one of those, to be able to get a job, to be able to to have her papers and all of these things.
It's that Roman thing of like Roman citizens, the Latin allies, and then all of the other citizens of the empire. And right now you're all the other citizens, and you're trying to move up into the Latin ally category.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, right, definitely that.
Place. So,
the word integration needs to be in this at some point, because like it's totally the thing of like they expect you to integrate before.
That's great.
So is it a bureaucratic institution?
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than a cultural one?
I think it's more of a cultural one, because part of doing it is that you have to buy into all of the culture's beliefs. So you can't. I was with my roommate in college when he got naturalized, and he studied for weeks and weeks and weeks to be able to answer like a 3 or 4 hours worth of questions about like, what does it mean to be an American citizen? And it was all of these things that when he was reviewing them with me, I'm like, I have no idea, dude. I've never heard of half of that stuff. Like all of these things that you're supposed to know that
are apparently core to being an American citizen.
Exactly.
Like, what the
right. And
our citizenship test
like
is very
all
similar.
of the presidents and things like that. Like I'm like, I don't know. I know like I could list off half.
Was Jefferson a president? Like maybe, I don't fucking know.
Right. So those kind of details. I think that forcing you to memorize and recite and at least have the appearance of believing in all of the culturally held beliefs is where I'm thinking of it. So yeah, I mean, certainly there is a bureaucracy there, but it's more a force feeding of, you must believe in the story that we're telling, and you must recite it back to us. So it's like verbatim, so that we know you're complicit with it.
So the institution is the bureaucracy, and the move is like, drown them in the history of the Republic, or
I think it's
whatever.
I think the move is like challenge your ability to. I need to shorten this, but I think it's a second guess your.
Worthiness?
Your worthiness, yeah.
Question your worthiness?
Question your worthiness. That sounds perfect. All the times where people get asked, like, all the times where like a woman gets asked, like, well, did you do anything to lead this person on? How short was her skirt? Like things that aren't appropriate at all, and yet they get like asked over and over to try and.
So you're a girl who's into gaming. Have you read insert like gatekeeping list of
It's
like
not question the worthiness; it's challenge the worthiness.
Challenge.
Right. They position themselves in opposition to you getting this thing that you want, and you're meant to like prove it beyond the shadow of any doubt that you.
Exactly, and it's an impossible because the goals keep moving.
Yeah, it's gatekeeping. It is like it's totally gatekeeping.
Yeah. And what forum? I'm trying to think of. Bureau of Incorporation is really spot on in terms of the mechanistic feel of it, but I kind of wanted to name it something that felt more Hellenistic, and I'm thinking like Senate or Forum or.
I was thinking house
maybe
or
Sean
something.
Maybe the bureau is the pillar and not the like maybe the institution is like the drive to incorporate or whatever, and then its move is to challenge your worthiness, and the pillar that holds up that challenging is the bureau.
I think
it's the instrument through which that's done.
Whatever we want to name this institution. I like the idea of having it not be bureau or like more modern kind of language. I like the idea of it being more like council or consulate or
forum or something.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Something that obfuscates what it is a little more.
Yeah. So I think that the thing is cultural erasure.
That's a great institution.
That's what the institution is.
Legit.
As the pillar goes, you just said one, and I was looking at it. What was the thing you just said 2 seconds ago?
The Citizens Forum.
Yeah, there we go. The Citizens Forum
Is the pillar? Cool.
Oh fuck yeah! Because literally any citizen has the right to challenge your worth in that way.
Exactly. So you can go to the Citizens Forum. So the Citizens Forum is typically the people who sign up as like a volunteer type duty to question and ensure that anybody that would be made a citizen is worthy, right? But it's literally anybody who any existing citizen wants to walk up and be like, no, how about this? It's a group of people.
Anyone who feels like being a douchebag today,
exactly.
Just be like, I'm gonna go to the Citizens Forum, make some people cry.
Anybody with an opinion on the internet, basically.
Citizens have a responsibility to maintain the purity and ideological virtue of the Republic.
Yes.
To maintain the health of the body politic of the people.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's you guys see how this is important, right?
Yeah.
So, and Andrew, if it fits within your idea, I would love it if our characters were linked insofar as that I was either my home, my place of birth, my native culture was conquered by either your legion or some association.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Let's keep it tightly connected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
that
I murdered many of your friends and country folk.
Yep.
There is a step for this.
yes, there is, but
okay, there's cool.
Yeah, so
But-
when we get there, I'm happy to be that person.
but Sean and Andrew aren't next to each other on my thing, so that's a different. So they would be creating an additional bond.
It could be a thing that we.
I mean, it just knits us in even tighter. So now that we've made ourselves a bit sad, but not quite sad enough, I think it's time for a break. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. Stand up, get some water, all those sorts of things, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Sounds wonderful.